Hello, everybody. Well, this video is prepared to introduce different types of storybooks. So in this short video clip, I will be introducing you to different types, varieties of storybooks out there. So the very first one that I would like to introduce you to is this big book. So these are called big books. If you can, as you can tell, it is almost my size, so it's a giant one. So if I let you compare it to a regular book, so this is a regular one over here, and this is a big book. And the reason of having something called a big book is to, of course, enjoy sharing. So imagine that you are placed in the center of your classroom and you're holding this big book, and your students are, they shaped a circle or semicircle around you. You're right in the middle, or you're facing all of them, and they're, looking at you and looking at the cover of the book, and they will be watching you along with the pages. So it's a giant size of story or the storybook. So students, especially larger classes, could refer to and could enjoy this reading session with you. So this one is called If You Give a Moose a Muffin. It's a well-known story, and you could simply place it on your lap, and you could read it out loud to your students like that. So if you give a moose a muffin, I'm not going to read the whole thing to you, but I will be just flipping a few pages so you are familiar with the story. You will want some jam to go with it. So you will bring out some of your mother's homemade blackberry jam. And one more. When he's finished eating the muffin, he will want another, and another, and another. When they're all gone, he will ask you to make more. So you can see the pictures, the visuals are really large. Students could definitely refer to the visual representations to make sense out of the story. The print is also a lot larger compared to the regular size storybooks. So this is something that you could enjoy with your young language learners. Big book, okay? The next one that I would like to introduce you to, is this one. So it is called Slide and Find, or Slide and Find. Yeah, exactly. Slide and Find type of book. So this is, the specific one is Panda Bear, what do you, and you slide and you see the rest of the title, which is What Do You See? Okay, so the sliding actually exists in the following pages. So the story goes, Panda Bear, what do you see? I see a bald eagle soaring by me. So you slide and you actually see a bald eagle, okay? And the next one, let's give it a try to another page. Bald eagle, what do you see? I see a water buffalo charging by me, and we will see a buffalo right next to the bald eagle. So this is another type of book where the sliding actually takes a lot of attention of the learner. It increases the curiosity of the learner. So by sliding and peeking into the visuals on each and every side, students will become more and more involved in the reading session. So they will be highly motivated. They will keep on reading and sliding. And the least that they could do is just slide and find out what is under these sort of doors or whatever, those covers, I would say. So this is another version, another type of storybook, which is called Slide and Find, okay? The next one that I would like to show you is Lift and Flap book. So what you do, this is called where is stop. So this is stop right there. It's a puppy. Well, actually, this is the mummy of stop, not stop, spot. I don't know. It's this the way it looks on the screen just confused me. It's spot actually. Where is spot? Which is a little puppy, and this is the mummy looking for the baby called Spot. So while the mummy is looking for the baby, actually, she is looking for at different spots, different places. So naughty Spot, it's dinner time. Where can he be? So where is he? Is he behind the door? So you flap this part right there and see. No, says the big brown bear. Let's look for him at another place. Is he inside the clock? Let's see. Boom. No, says the snake. Is he in the piano? So this is a pink, cute pink piano. The hippopotamus, yeah, says no. And another animal, bird, says no too. So you flap and you lift and you flap the book. So you lift it or you flap it like you did in the earlier pages. Like if you do that, and then again, this tap into learners' curiosity by opening those components. They will be checking out the different spots, and they will be actually looking for this character, the Spot, the baby puppy. So this is another type. This is the third type that I am presenting today, and it's called lift and flap. Lift the flap book. So that's that. Another one is, I don't know whether this is exactly called a pop-up, but in certain pages, so this is by Eric Carle again. So it is called Pop-Up, Please Get the Moon for Me. And I call this as a pop-up book. And the reason is that you read and it seems like a regular, storybook in certain pages, but sometimes in some other sections or parts of the story, you actually get to see the pages. Difficult to manage all of these. The pages pop like this. So the father is, he took a long letter. So this page actually, originally it's this big. This is the size, but it pops like that. Okay. So I call this as a pop book or pop-up book. And so let's read the story so you can, not the whole thing again, but you can get an idea. So Papa, please get the moon for me. Before Monica went to bed, she looked out of her window and saw the moon. The moon looked so near. Okay. I wish I could play with the moon, thought Monica, and reached for it. But no matter how much she stretched, she could not touch the moon. Papa, said Monica to the father, please get the moon for me. So the father grabbed this long ladder, right? So Papa got a very long ladder. So you exaggerate that long word by elongating it. And then he carried the very long ladder towards a very high mountain. And some other things happen. And then another page comes up and boom, another pop-up happens right there. So the moon, finally, Papa gets to the moon. Finally, Papa got to the moon. My daughter, Monica, wants to play with you or would like to play with you, said Papa, but you're much too big. So to exaggerate, to show the size, this is not the actual size of the moon, but to make it bigger and to emphasize the size of it, which is giant for a little kid to play with. It pops like this. So this is the fourth version that I would like to introduce, and it's called Pop-Up Book. Another one, which is a fun one, is called sound books or storybooks that has or that have actually sounds to it. So this is called Good Night Construction Site. You probably have heard this story somewheres, and it's a simplified, shortened version. So let's read one page so you understand. So on one side, it has a battery in it, and it has a speaker over here where the sound comes out. And it has five different buttons over here. And in the story, it tells you exactly which button to push, right? So first you press this button, which is right above, and then you press this one, which is right beneath, and then this one, which is the third one over here. On different pages, you have these different signals, so you know which button to press exactly. So let's give it a try. Down in the big construction site, the tough trucks work with all their might. So I would like to press this one. So you hear the machines working. Listen to them crunch, vroom, beep, until it's time to go to sleep. It's backing up. And then another machine working, okay? And in the next page, it will probably tell us to press some other ones. Working hard to help his team, crane truck raises one last beam. As he swings the beam around, the crane truck makes a tired sound. He's yawning. He slowly folds his boom back in, and then with one last sleepy grin, he tucks himself in nice and tight, sleeping, snoring. Shh, good night. So it's snoring. It's already asleep, okay? So this is another type, and it has the sound in it. So it is more costly, it is more expensive, probably to buy this type of book. But if you want to incorporate, I mean, maybe there will be some young learners who have never been at a construction site, or maybe they will not even know what those machines might sound like. What sounds they make when they back up, what sounds they make when they are working in a site, or on a site. So this is very good sort of audio input for them to relate to the story. So they get to hear the machines snoring, they get to hear the machines actually yawning, and they get to hear different machines or vehicles sounds, okay? So this is a storybook with sounds. And another one that I would like to show, it has layers to it. So it's almost like a big hole in the center of the book. And it's called In My Heart. So you see a big heart shape in the center of the book. And each page has another layer of a heart, okay? And it gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And on the very last page, it's actually a teeny tiny one, which is like that, right? So it shrinks, it gives you a story, and here it is actually giving a different information on different dimensions, different components of somebody's heart. So In My Heart by Joe Wittek. And let's go over the first page together. So a book of feelings, obviously, as you can tell. So my heart is full of feelings, big feelings and small feelings, loud feelings and quiet feelings, quick feelings and slow feelings. My heart is like a house with all these feelings living inside. And in each layer, it gives a different dimension. Like in the first one, it is about happiness and what do you do? How do you feel when you are happy? And the next one, when you feel strong, the things that happen in your heart. And the next one, you are very, very angry. Your heart is about to explode or something. So, you know, it gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And let's see what happens at the end. So it says, sometimes I hide my heart away where no one can see, like my own small treasure. I don't want anyone to look at me. Safe on my swing, she's on a swing, I can watch the world from up above. This is when my heart is shy. And the tiny heart is still here. My heart can feel so many feelings, and yours can too. Today, my heart is proud. How does your heart feel? So oftentimes kids or young ones go through different types of emotions, but they're not necessarily aware of feeling this way or that way. So this book also is very helpful, I think, to help them figure out or further explore what types of feelings, what types of emotional states that they might be, or what types of emotions they might get to experience in a on a daily basis in their everyday life. So it is helpful in that sense too. So emotions are almost too abstract or too complicated, but this can help them in some ways. And it has layers to it. So it's visually appealing. And you know, it gets smaller and smaller and narrower too. And deep in the very smallest part is her and, you know, her pride probably that keeps her ongoing. Another one that I would like to share with you is that oftentimes, I mean, the books that we have gone through so far were the ones that you probably never heard of or you have heard of. But there is another type that you have most likely read or you have been read to, and they are called word classics. So Little Red Riding Hood, Cinderella, Three Little Pigs, what else? You just name it, okay? So you can read world classics or those classical ones to your young learners. And one major reason of reading those, world classics is that the students, the young ones, will probably, very likely, they will be already familiar with the content, the story, the characters in their first language, whatever that language is. And reading the same story with the same characters and the same plot, more or less the same story, same sequence of events or very similar sequence of events, they will become they will feel more confident about reading this story or processing the information of this story because they have already known the background, information, all the things that happened, all the characters involved. So reading word classics like Three Little Pigs or, Snow White or Goldilocks and the Three Bears, those are, some classics out there, and you could definitely enjoy reading those with your young learners. And that's another one. And sometimes storybooks actually help you and help your young learners with the early reading, early writing attempts. So here is Chica Chica Boom Boom. And Chica Chica Boom Boom, all it does is actually introduce those letters of the alphabet, of English alphabet, obviously, in a fun way. Let's go ahead and read several pages together. So A told B and B told C, I'll meet you at the top of the coconut tree. So A, B, C. We, said D to E, F, G. I'll beat you to the top of the coconut tree. Chica, chica, boom, boom. Will there be enough room? Here comes H up to the coconut tree. So they will appear on top of the coconut tree one by one, and each and every page is actually introducing a new set of letters of the alphabet. So through storybooks, you can tap into your young ones' early literacy development. And one example of it is Chica Chica Boom Boom. And other than these, there probably will be many more. And another one is based on phonics. So phonics instruction is really, it aims at improving young learners early and basic literacy, development by by facilitating their comprehension and awareness in sounds, and those sounds being represented in writing. So letter and sound correspondences. So here we have, it's Osborne series, and this one is more specifically called B Makes Tea. And there are many versions of this Osborne series. And when you flip the pages, you will come across so many words rhyming. For example, they stack up cups and fill the spot. Oh, fill the pot, sorry. B starts to frown. It looks a lot. Pot and lot are the two rhyming words. So you will come across a lot of rhyme or rhyming words here. Oh, and how will I carry that? Wait there, says Ant. I'll soon be back. It wasn't as obvious here. Let's see what other pages we could figure. Maybe this one. The queen bee gasps and laughs. Hee, a special cake that looks like me. Thank you for my birthday tea. So bee or me and tea are the rhyming words. So you could specifically get several, phonics associated, phonics related books. So your students' early literacy introduction or early literacy development, for their early literacy development. So this is phonics book, and just one version of it. But there are some others where you could, these are not storybooks, these are more activity books, but those are to tap into phonics too. And then for more maybe proficient or more competent young learners, you could read longer stories. So Julia Donaldson is a very good name, a very, I think, strong author out there. And I really, truly love her storybooks, but it's a little lengthier. So there are, let me flip the pages for you. So The Smartest Giant in Town. So it's about a giant, right? This is the big man right there. And he comes across a series of events, and he becomes a smart looking big guy eventually. So you read and read and read. So it's on the lengthier side. It is not a word classic, but it is a very nice story. And again, it has the rhyme component to it. So students will definitely, more proficient ones and maybe slightly older young learners could enjoy stories of this sort. Okay. That's all that I have. There are probably many other types of books out there, but the ones that I could introduce to you in this session were only those ones. And I do hope that you find this introduction somewhat meaningful, useful. So what I try to suggest after this quick introduction is that try to vary the type of books that you will purchase for your own classrooms if you get to choose. If you are working for a private institution, talk to your institution and make sure that they get different different varieties of storybooks for you and for your learners. And the very last message that I can share with you, keep on reading. If you do not have that love for stories or reading stories, make sure you develop that type of love. I don't know, work on it somehow, develop that and pass that love to younger generations. Thank you so much for your time and for your attention. And please feel free to comment on this video and let me know if you come across other types of stories that are available out there or storybooks that are available out there. And I'll see you around.